Hey, how's it going? This is Farius here, and I'm here to talk to you about my new single, 11th Hour, which is out now on Zerothree. Thank you for the kind words that have come in so far on this record. It seems to be doing all right. This is the project here. There wasn't any sort of one big main inspiration for this track. There was nothing that I didn't come to the studio and was like, I'm going to write this record. It just kind of came together very naturally, which is often the best way, I think, when you're writing. There are a couple of bits in here that were kind of inspired by other artists. Not ashamed to admit that. I am a big fan, as we all are, of other DJs and producers. I'll get to that later on. This is the project here. Apologies if you're OCD, as I usually am. I actually managed to push through that this time, and I didn't colour coordinate everything like I usually do. But up here we've got my vocals in red. This section here is all my percussion and my drums. These are my pink basses as usual. These are my synths down here. These are my pianos in blue, and these in yellow are my effects. I have to say, nothing really crazy going on in this record. There's nothing like, oh my God, how to do that? It's all really, really simple. So a lot of this record, the main rhythm that drives it all the way through is from this cowbell, which is just literally a contact sampler. I think I just took a cowbell from a sample pack and just gave it some processing. For this reverse thing, pretty simple trick. You just give one big hit on the cowbell, you put loads of reverb on it, and then you bounce it down and you reverse that the bounce, and then it comes out nicely. Here are the basses. My two low end, I've got a Moog, I've got a Silent, really simple, just like a sine wave, which I've processed a lot. Then these ones, which are the more crunchy ones at the top. Silent, and then just loads of processing. Silent can kind of be, a lot of people think it's sort of a bit of an old school synth, but I think if you process the sounds in the right way, I think you can get some really cool stuff out of there. Also, it's a synth that I know my way around the most, so it's tend to my go-to synth. This is where I get found out, and everyone's like, oh my God, Farius uses Silent, what an old school. But it works for me, and whatever works for you, there is no right or wrong. Here are all my synths. ARPs, pads, chords, little mousy chords I tend to use in a lot of my records. A little trancey pad, or just a hell pad. These are the trancier gated, sidechain and gated, which grow. I think they become bigger in the record as the record goes on. These are the ARPs. Got some strings in here as well. And down here I've got lots of pianos. And that was literally just a riff that I wrote on the piano. You can see it there. A little tip I can give is, if you're writing piano melodies, if you're writing chords and you want to make them sound live, or if you want to make them sound real, don't process the notes so they all are the same dynamic or the same velocity even. Give them some love, like make them sound a bit more interesting. You just got to imagine like you were actually playing the piano in a band or something. You wouldn't play every note in the same way. They would be, you'd play them at different velocities. What else? Back to the percussion. Nothing crazy in there at all. Literally just like my snare, my ride, two open hats, some claps, some quick 16th hats, panning from side to side. Little tip there, I actually forgot I'd done that. I must do that again on my next record. Thanks for reminding myself. Quite a nice little drum machine going on there. There's your cowbell. Here's a lead. And with nothing on it, So this bit coming up is the bit that I'm potentially the most proud of on the record. I'm really into this bit, which is this big moment where you have all the arps going crazy. The kind of inspiration for this was I'd actually just come back from seeing Eric Prydz play at High in Ibiza last summer, and he does this thing where all the lights go, all the strobes go absolutely crazy around that entire club, and I just thought, wow, I would love to do something like that but in a record. So that was kind of like what I was envisaging when I wrote this line, which is literally just, I wrote this on the piano, maybe fiddled around with it a little bit in the MIDI roll, but I just kind of wanted to do something that was big and kind of epic at this point, basically, as opposed to just like a normal sort of slower breakdown with pads and stuff. Got some chords underneath backing it up. The main one, this big bass line, pretty chunky. And it kind of just grows from there, basically, as we grow into this big moment here where everything kicks in. Got this piano riff coming back in. Piano-wise, I just process my Nexus pianos a lot, mainly. I do have a contact piano that I use as well, but that's pretty much it, really. Pad is just growing. This is quite cool, actually. I did this in Close to Home, which is a record I had out on Zerothree last year, maybe the year before. I automated the detune on one of the oscillators in Silence. So here, it sounds pretty normal and in tune. But by here, you can just hear it slightly waving a little bit off, and that makes it stand out in the mix and just gives it a nice sound. Let's listen to this big drop. There's a lot going on in here, so I don't know if my CPU is going to be able to take it, but let's cross our fingers. Just about keeping it together. As I say, there's a lot going on, in here. Bass not doing too much, just a lot of low end. But all the rhythm comes, and again in the percussion section, there's not that much groove in there. There's not that much rhythm in there. So all the rhythm comes. It's really struggling now. All the rhythm comes from these bits in here, all the synths. That's what pushes the record forward, and I think that's kind of it. I can't think of anything else. There's nothing, as I say, nothing crazy in here. It's just a record that came together really naturally, and had loads of fun doing it. So if you've got any more questions, stick them in the comments section. I'll reply to them in the comments section. But for now, that is 11th Hour. It's out right now on Zerothree. There'll be more music from me on Zerothree very soon, and I can't wait to bring it to you. So thanks.